Hey, how you doing? Alex here. Thank you so much for joining me. And in today's video, I'm going to be covering 8 topics that I feel are important going through this college recruiting process that I have observed being a former Division I college coach, scout, and recruiter, and now helping high school athletes and their parents go through this college recruiting process. So hopefully you take something away from this video. If you do, please smash that like button, that thumbs up, which is right down here, and subscribe to my channel. I put out a weekly video on the recruiting process and how to just get better on and off the field. All right, let's get into it. Number one is it's hard to be seen, and you need to make sure you're going out of your way to get exposure, to be seen, because it's hard to be seen. There's 483,000 high school baseball players in this country, and not very many college recruiters. Okay, max amount on a staff, there's 3 coaches that are actually involved in the recruiting realm, and that's max. Sometimes it's just 2, and sometimes it's just 1 coach that's actually doing the majority of the recruiting. So they can only be so many places, they can only see so many players. So you need to be making sure that you are maximizing your exposure. We're going to talk a little bit about how to do that. But high school season is tough to be seen. And why is that the case? Because college coaches are actually playing in their season right now. The timing of this recording, they're in the backstretch of their season and getting ready and going and hunting for playoffs. Okay, a lot of these teams are trying to secure spots in the playoffs, or to get the best seed that they possibly can in their tournament. So you know, they're not that focused on recruiting, even though recruiting is 24/7. They're also trying to win and keep their job, frankly, and because a lot of these programs, especially Division I, you don't, and at the high level, you don't win, you're not a coach for very long. Okay, and it's a tough thing because these college coaches are coaching a lot, and really when it comes down to it, they're depending on 18 to 21 year olds to keep their job. So it's pretty wild out there. But also the summer, fall, and even winter time is the best time to be seen. So we're going into the summer, but the thing is, there's a lot of tournaments that go on, but tournaments are actually not the best way to be seen. Why? Because there's so many tournaments out there. Coaches are spread thin. They're all spread all over across the place, and there's so many games at so many different locations that, again, it's just all spread out. Usually showcases and camps are the best way to be seen. So and you want to make sure when you're going to a showcase that, or you're trying to decide on a showcase, that their college programs are confirmed there, and that you know that which college coaches are going to be there. That is usually the most helpful to know, because just because a college program is going to say that they're going to be there, and maybe it's a great school, it could be a volunteer coach that doesn't really have anything to do with the recruiting process. Now, I was a volunteer, I understand this, but also know how the game works on this side. The main recruiter is the recruiting coordinator, the other assistant coach, and even sometimes the head coach as well. Okay, so there's some nuance to all of this, but making sure that it's actually the recruiting coordinator or the head coach or one of the recruiting assistants. Number 2, for the majority of us, this is going to be really hard. The recruiting process is hard. Do you know what the success rate is to play at the next level from Division I, Division II, Division III? It's 7%. And do you know what the success rate to play at Division I? It's about 2.1 or 2.2%. So out of all those high school kids, 483,000, 2.1% are going to go on and play at the Division I level, and it's around 2%, 2.1, 2.3, 2.4 for Division II and Division III as well, totaling around 7%. Okay, and that's not including JUCO or NAIA. Together, that's about 10% for JUCO and NAIA schools. So this is hard, all right? The success rate is not very good. It's actually harder to play in college than it is to be a Navy SEAL. Navy SEALs is about 25% success rate. To be a college athlete, I mean, you're 10% or 7%, depending on which level you're going to go after going through this. And get used to being ignored. Get used to being said no to. So if you're an athlete that was like me, I got said no to so many times. I got ignored so many times, but I stayed the course. I stayed disciplined to what I needed to be doing and doing the correct steps to go through this recruiting process. Number 3 is don't sit on the sidelines. Don't sit and just wait for somebody to come to you or hope that you're going to be found. Because remember, number one is it's really hard to be seen. It's hard to be found. You need to be proactive in this college recruiting process. You need to go and recruit these schools. You need to, again, be proactive and put yourself in situations where you're going to be in front of college coaches that are going to be a good fit for you. Number 4 is have somebody with experience help you with. Now, that might be your high school coach. That might be your summer ball coach. That might be somebody like me, because I do this. But again, it doesn't have to be me. It could be your summer ball coach that they know what they're doing, and they've helped a lot of guys go through this process, and they know to go through the correct steps. It's not just like, hey, you'll be seen. No, you have a strategic plan of what you need to be doing, because going at this blind is really, really tough, okay? Being a parent or a student athlete and just trying to do this on your own and not knowing certain information that is not available really to just the general public, it's really tough, okay? And that could be stuff like, hey, who's recruiting your position? Are they in need? Are they in need? Are they even recruiting your class and your position there? So stuff just like that. Just get some help. Get some help going through. There's nothing wrong. It's actually, in my opinion, you're really hurting yourself if you're not getting help through this. Number 5 is actually the most important thing in this college recruiting process, and that is your skill development. You have to have a certain skill set to play at the next level. Now, the beautiful thing about this is there's all different skill sets at the next level. As you guys know, there's Division 1 and there's tiers. I like to categorize them as in 3 tiers. You got the Power 5s, the highest level, the SEC, ACC, etc. You got the mid-majors, and you got some lower Division 1s. All of them amazing talent, but different skill sets. Then you got Division 2, then you got Division 3, and then you have NAIA, and you have JUCO, all right? Again, all different skill sets. There's 1,500 schools out there, and if you have a skill set under you, and you're a starter on your varsity, and you're making an impact on your varsity team, more than likely, there's going to be a spot for you to play. Now, it might not be at the Division 1 level, or it might be at the Division 1 level, but it also might be at the Division 3 level. All right, and you being open-minded about this and understanding your skill set. This is all about skill set. Understanding your skill set and developing your skill set and being realistic. You should have reach schools that are, hey, a little bit out of reach, but you feel like you might be able to get there. And then you should have target schools that are more realistic for you, right? From a skill set standpoint, academic standpoint, geographic standpoint, financial standpoint, socially, all of these things, doing your research on that. And then some safe schools that you feel like, hey, I feel really confident that I could play there. And real quick, the second most important thing in this recruiting process is you being proactive in this recruiting process, you attacking this recruiting process. Because if you don't work, really, for most often, this doesn't work well, all right? There's that small majority of kids that, small minority, I should say, of kids that go through this recruiting process and they get picked up really easy. Yes, it's easy for them. It is, all right? But for the majority of us, it's not going to be easy. Again, if you're an athlete like me, it's not going to be easy for you because I wasn't that standout athlete going through this recruiting process, all right? I wasn't like that 6'5" guy throwing 92 miles an hour as a freshman or sophomore, okay? I was not that guy. The sixth thing that I want to talk about is the weight room. And we just talked about the skill sets, okay? But the weight room can improve your skill sets almost faster than anything. You being consistent in the weight room in developing your strength, developing your mobility, developing your cores and your legs can really help your skill set and get you stronger and as far as just throwing and hitting, and also being more stable in the field, working on your footwork. These things that you do in the weight room can improve your skill set dramatically. So lock in, not only focus on your skill set for your particular position, but really should be consistent and focused in the weight room. Number 7 is target a lot of schools. Guys, if you're just going after 1 or 2 schools, you're not giving yourself very good chances, right? But if you target 30, 40, 50 schools, you're maximizing your chances as much as you possibly can, rather than just going 1, 2, 3, or 5 schools, okay? And then, this goes back to having somebody help you with experience. Target schools that are recruiting your position. A lot of people don't understand that not all the schools are recruiting all positions. The only position that really do that is like right-handed pitcher and left-handed pitcher. But they might be finished in that class, right, of right-handed pitchers or left-handed pitchers. They're just not in need of arms anymore, all right? They maybe be in need of a catcher or a center fielder or a shortstop. And they might not be in need of a catcher or a shortstop or a center fielder that year. target the schools that are recruiting position, because the last thing that you want to go is go to a camp and they're not even recruiting your position. That's the last thing that you want to do. It's a waste of time and money. All right, so focus on maximizing your school list and targeting schools that are recruiting your position. And number 8, last one, is maximize your exposure with technology. Have a personal recruiting video that is going to help you and highlight your best qualities as a player, maybe even as a student. Flash your grades up there, your GPA, your test scores if they're super good, and highlight your best skills for this is an example, as a catcher, okay? I'm going to highlight my catching skill set, my pop times and receiving and blocking really quickly, and also my hitting. I don't need to highlight my running because, if I run really well, yes, go for it. But most catchers don't run really well, so we don't need to show our 60 time, okay? So highlight your best skill sets and what you do well, and highlight them in the beginning of the video so it catches the attention of the college coaches. And make sure your video is short and sweet, all right? 2 minutes to 90 seconds. That's all you need, guys, and that's all the college coaches need to see you. And the purpose of this from exposures, hey, I like what I see. They get engagement with you, and then they come see you. That would be the next step, because they need to see you live eventually. All right, team, hopefully you got something from this video. I was super pumped to do this one because I thought there was a lot of important topics that I wanted to cover. But again, thanks for staying this long. Smash that like button, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.